Good morning, students. Welcome back to Digital Signal Processing class. In today's class, we are going to discuss the concept of circular convolution. In that, we are going to proceed with two types of methods. First method is all about concentric circle method. Second method is about matrix method. In these two methods, we'll do some problems. We'll try to find out the answer of both the circular convolution. So basically, we know that circular convolution is all about we had first sequence x of n, if you had the second sequence x2 of n, if you want to convolve both of them in a circular form. That means if you are using two sequence, first sequence I am saying as x1 of n samples, having n samples, convolve with x2 of n. The output of that sequence is what? Y of n. So this is nothing but the formula for finding the circular convolution. Second point, what you need to remember for solving the circular convolution is the number of samples in the first sequence needs to be same in the number of samples in the second sequence. That is our second condition or second point that we need to remember while solving the problem for circular convolution. Third thing, what you need to do, you can solve circular convolution problem by using two methods. One method is concentric circle method, second method is matrix method. So first thing, we are using some problems, we are using some examples, and we'll try to find out the circular convolution of these two sequences. So basically, what is the circular convolution is all about? It's about when you had first sequence and second sequence, when you want to convolve it, how we have done in linear convolution, we have taken one x of n, then we have taken another sequence h of n. That is, if you had discrete sequence of input x of n, if you do have this second discrete sequence, that is nothing but the impulse sequence h of n. If you want to convolve both the sequence, we can do it by applying the concept called linear convolution. Over here, we are taking one example. So let's see. So we are using one problem. They gave one sequence x1 of n is 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. They gave next sequence x2 of n is equals to 1, 2, 3. So they gave these three questions. They asked to find out obtain the circular convolution of these two sequence. So they asked to find out the circular convolution of these two sequence. So first thing we need to see, in the first samples, how many number of samples are given. So as you can see in this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we had n1 is equals to 5 samples. And in the second sequence, you can see 1, 2, 3. So how many samples we do have? n2 is equals to 3 samples. That means n1, the number of samples in the first sequence is not equals to number of samples in the second sequence. So what is the first criteria? The first criteria is that in order to find the circular convolution, both the sequence needs to be same. That means we need to make this sequence same. How do we make it? By doing the concept called zero padding. So we are adding zeros to unequal sequence. So which is unequal sequence here? So what is x2 of n now? Therefore, x2 of n we can write it as 1, 2, 3, 0 and 0. So this is your x2 of n. What is x1 of n? x1 of n is, so 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. So then by using these two we can find out y of n. So y of n we need to find out. So how do you find y of n? x1 of n circularly convolve with x2 of n. If you take both the sequence, if you want to find out both the sequence, then we can find the output of y of n. So now let's see by using the first method. What is the first method we do have? We had first method I am using as concentric circle method. So the first method what I am applying is concentric circle method. In this what I am doing, I am using concentric. What is the meaning of concentric? Having the common center. If you had two circles or n number of circles, if the center is common, then we can call it as concentric. So in this what I am doing, I am using one circle, I am using another circle like this. So I am using two circles having the common center. So if I do have this kind of thing, then I can say that these two are concentric circle. So in this what I am doing, what is the method to do this? Concentric circle method. What is the first steps? While discussing the steps, what we have discussed, we discussed that take the first sequence in counterclockwise direction and the second sequence in clockwise direction. So we need to take first sequence counterclockwise, that means anti-clockwise direction we need to take, and second sequence we should take the clockwise direction. So by taking anti-clockwise and clockwise, we need to multiply the corresponding values. So we are doing these two methods, these 2 points we need to keep in our mind. What is the first sequence we do have? x1 of 0, we had x1 of 1, next x1 of 2, next x1 of 3, next we had x1 of 4. So we have done anti-clockwise, we have written, and internal would be what? Clockwise direction. So same point where x1 of 0 will there, from there we need to start the x2 of 0, then x2 of 1, then x2 of, what is x2 of this would be 2, x2 of 3, x2 of 4. So now write down the corresponding value for it. What is x1 of 0? x1 of 0 we had 1 minus 1. The x1 of 0 is 1. This is what? x1 of 1, it's minus 1. So is equals to minus 1. Likewise, minus 2. Next is equals to 3. Next is equals to minus 1. So we wrote all the values of x1 of n. Next we are using x2 of n. What is x2 of n? First is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is x2 of 0? It's nothing but 1. Next value 2. Next 3. Next 0 and 0. So we wrote all those values. Now what we'll do? We'll try to find out the first sample y of 0. How do we get the y of 0? By corresponding value we need to cross multiply it over here. So what is the corresponding value? First thing 1 into 1, that is the first value, plus second value. What is the second value? Minus 1 into 0, plus next value minus 2 into 0, next value 3 into 3. So this 3 into 3. Next value 2 into minus 1. So what we got this thing? Now 1 into 1 it will be 1, minus 1 into 0 it will be minus 0, 2 into 0 it will be minus 0, plus 3 into 3 it will be 9, 2 into 1 it's 2. So what we got? 1 plus 9 would be 10, 10 minus 2 would be 8. So we got y of 0 as 8. We found first value. So we got first sample value y of 0 by taking corresponding value for all the samples. To get next, what is the next value we need to get? We need to get y of 1. How do we get y of 1? Outside you don't have to change, it will be as it is, outer circle. Inner circle we need to just change. What we need to change? We need to change this position. The position of the first sequence we have to shift to the next value. So how do we do it? Let's see. So we are taking the second, that is we need to find out next y of 1. So in order to find y of 1, what we are doing? We are taking the same 2 circles, we are drawing the 2 circles. So first circle and the second circle. So what is the outer circle sequence we do have? 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. This is as it is. Will not change this positions. So what is the first value? 1. So we'll write here x1 of n is what? 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. This is x1 of n. x2 of n is what actually? It's what? 1, 2, 3, 0 and 0. We do have both the sequence. So what is the first value? 1. Then next value minus 1. Next minus 2. The next is 3. The next is minus 1. But as you can see in internal part, this is what we have done. We have done anti-clockwise direction. We rotated. We found the value for it. For internal part, what we do? We have started from this but instead of starting from that particular thing, we need to shift that into outer one. This is 1. This point we need to locate into it. What is this first we do have? This is what? 1. So where we need to start from? This point. So what is the value we get now? 1. Starting point, this is 1 now. This is what? 2. This is 3. This is what? 0. And this is 0. So how we are doing? We are doing clockwise rotation, but we are shifting the position for it to get the y of 1. Now to get y of 2, what we'll do? We'll draw the same circle, outer circle and inner circle. Outer circle positions we are not changing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is as it is. What is the outer value we do have? 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. So we are putting in anti-clockwise direction. That is as it is. Now for write the next value, what we'll do? We'll shift the position to this one. So what is the position we need to start from? Here, from this point we need to start. So what is the sequence we do have? It's 1, then 2, then 3, then 0, then 0. This is what we are doing. This we are rotating in clockwise direction. So what is the value we'll get here? This is nothing but y of 2. We'll find y of 2 by using this step. So what is the y of 0, y of 1 now? Tell me what is the y of 1? So y of 1 would be is equals to, what is the corresponding values? These two values you need to multiply. What is the value? 1 into 2 plus this 2 value we need to multiply. So what is the value we'll get? Minus 1 into 1. Next this 2 value we need to multiply. So 0 into minus 2 plus next this 2 value we need to multiply. So 0 into 3 plus this 2 we need to multiply. So 3 into minus 1. So therefore y of 1 now, y of 1 is equals to 2 ones are 2, 1 ones are minus 1, this 2 are 0, so this is minus 3. So minus 1 minus 3 is minus 4. So from 2 you subtract it. So y of 1 would be minus 2. So we found y of 1. So next thing what we need to find? We need to find y of 2. So how do we find y of 2? This is a question mark here. So therefore y of 2 would be, so multiply the corresponding value, this first two values. So this is nothing but 1. So 1 into 3 plus next value, multiply these two, minus 1 into 2 plus next two value we need to multiply. So what is the next two values? Minus 2 into 1 plus 0 plus 0, because 0 into anything will be 0. So what we got now? Y of 2 is equals to, so 1 3 is it's 3, 2 1 is it's minus 2, 2 1 is again it's minus 2 plus 0. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 1 minus 2 would be minus 1. So we got y of 2. Therefore y of 2 we got this one. So how many times you have to do? You have to do until unless the same point we reach to this point. Till that time you have to rotate the value. What is the next value we will get? After y of 2 we'll get y of 3. How we'll write? That position will start from this end and we will find out the value. So let's see how we'll do it, that one. So for what is this, for what is the conclusion of this one? Internal you keep on rotating clockwise, but you have to shift the position of internal part. What is the shifting of that one? It will be anti-clockwise only. Shifting has anti-clockwise, but rotation is clockwise. Outer circle, don't change any value. Outer we are keeping as it is. This, whatever the values we do have, we are not changing it. We are keeping that as it is. Only the internal circle parts we are changing and we are finding the value for it. Now let us see how do we find y of 3 and y of 4. Now see the next one. We need to find, after getting y of 1, y of 2, next would be to find the y of 3. So we are finding y of 3. How do we find? We have to change the position value. What is the position value we do have? We have outer circle, that value we keep as it is. Inner circle we need to change. So what is the outer circle we do have? It's nothing but 1. It's 1 as it is, it will be as it is. Then it is minus 1, then minus 2, then 3, then minus 1. So we got these all. So we wrote it all the values. Outer one is as it is. But internal, what you have to do, internal circle we need to modify it. Previously it is there at this position. So from that position we have to start from this end. And we have to go for clockwise rotation. So what are the values? 1, 2, 3, 0 and 0. So this is the value we'll get y of 3. So likewise, to get the y of 4, what we'll do it? We'll make circle, outer circle as it is. This outer circle we are not changing, its values are same. What is the values? 1, -1, -2, 3 and 1. That is as it is. For internal circle, what we are doing? We are shifting, we are changing the position to next consecutive value. So what is the next position is there? Here it is there. Now it will change to this position. From there we will start counting. So what is this sequence now? 1, 2, 3, 0 and 0. So this we are doing in clockwise, that is in anti-clockwise direction. So you need to compulsorily draw the arrow mark. The arrow is compulsory to draw in exam also. So what is the value now? What is the value we'll get from here? We'll get y of 4. So we will find y of 4, and these all answers will verify by using matrix method. Afterwards we'll check from matrix method. Now see y of 3. What is y of 3 answer we do have? So I can write y of 3 is equals to, multiply these two values. 0 into 1 will be 0. Multiply these two value. 3 into -1 will be -3. Directly I am writing now. Plus 2 into -2, what I'll get? I'll get -2 to the 4. Next would be 3 into 1. So what is 3 into 1? It would be 3. Then 1 into 0. So 0 into -1, it will be 0. So what is the answer of y of 3? So y of 3 is equals to, plus 3 minus 3 cancel, it is -4. So we got y of 3. Next what you need to find? You have to find y of 4. So how do we find y of 4? Multiply these two values. 0 into 1, it will be again 0, plus 0 into -1, again it will be 0, plus corresponding value you need to multiply these two. So what I'll get? 3 into -2, it will be -6, plus here 3 into 2, it will be 6, plus 1 into 1, it will be, what is the next last value? It is -1. So 1 into -1, it will be -1. So plus 6 minus 6 gets cancelled. So we left with -1. So we got y of 4 it as -1. So what is the next thing we need to write at the end? Therefore y of n is equals to, what are the values we do have? Starting we got y of 0 is 8, comma, next value y of 1, that is -1. Y of 1 we got it as -2. Then y of 2, what is y of 2 we got? -1. Then y of 3, what is y of 3? -4. Then y of 4, what is y of 4? -1. So we got the sequence in this way. So at the end, by using concentric circle method, we found all the values: 8, -2, -1, -4 and -1. Let us see next method, that is matrix multiplication method for circular convolution. That we will see now. So students, so we had those two sequences, x1 of n and x2 of n. We took 1, -1, -2, 3, -1, 1, 2, 3. So what is the answer of y of n we got? We got it as, what is the answer we got? 8, -2, -1, -4 and -1. By which method we did? Concentric circle method. By applying concentric circle method, we got this above answer. What is the second method we are doing? By applying second method, that is matrix method. So matrix method, we need to apply the same concept of circular convolution. In that, what is the criteria we have to obey in that also? First and second sequence needs to be same. Means number of samples in the first sequence and number of samples in the second sequence needs to be same. For doing this thing, what I'll do it? First, x1 of n I'll write. It's nothing but 1, -1, -2, 3 and -1. Second, x2 of n. What is x2 of n? I'll write 1, 2, 3. I'll add 2 zeros, 0 and 0. In order to perform multiple, that is nothing but matrix multiplication method or matrix method, what you have to do? You have to find out y of n. So y of n is the order of your sequence. What user sequence is there? x2 of n. That you need to write in terms of n into n matrix. Into the second, what you have to write? N into 1 matrix. That means we have to use x1 of n. First we always have to take second sequence, then we should follow it with first sequence. Then you will get y of n in terms of 1 column and n rows. So because n and n same, we'll get here 1 columns and n rows. So by using this y of n to get these values, what are the y of n values we do have? We have y of 0, then y of 1, then y of 2, then y of 3, then y of 4. So these values we have to get. How do we get this thing? We have to take x2 of n matrix in n raised to n by n matrix we have to use. So what is the first value of x2 of n? I do have x2 of 0, then x2 of 1, x2 of 2, x2 of 3, then x2 of 4. This is what one column, 5 rows, but for writing we have to get n rows in n columns. So how many rows we do have this? How many elements is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Means 5 into 5. 5 rows and 5 columns we have to use. So where we have stopped? Here we have stopped at x2 of 4. So we have to start from x2 of 4 for the corresponding value and follow the same sequence. x2 of 0, x2 of 1, x2 of 2 and x2 of 3. Similarly, what is the next value where we have stopped? At x2 of 3 we have stopped. So we have to start from x2 of 3, x2 of 4, x2 of 0, x2 of 1, x2 of 2. So this we have stopped. From there we need to start. So what is the value we need to start? x2 of, what is the value here? 2, x2 of 3, x2 of 4, x2 of 0, x2 of 1. So again where we have stopped? It stopped at x2 of 1. So we should start the next column with the same value. So what I'll write here? x2 of 1 means here what? x2 of 1, then x2 of 2, x2 of 3, x2 of 4, then x2 of 0. So as you can see in all diagonal x2 of 0, x2 of 0, x2 of 0, x2 of 0 became. So from where we have start? x2 of 0. From where we have end? x2 of 0. So we wrote the x2 matrix. Well, now what is left out now? We have to write x2. x2 is done. We left with x1. So x1 needs to be, what is that? N rows and 1 column. So we'll write that one, n rows and 1 column. So what is that? x1 of 0, x1 of 1, x1 of 2, x1 of 3 and x1 of 4. So this is 5 is to 5. This is 5 rows, 1 column. This is what? 5 rows and 1 column. So multiplication is possible if the number of column of the first matrix is same as number of rows of the second matrix. So they are same. So that means this we are getting in n is to 1, not 1 is to n. It is what? N is to 1, because this n are same. Now write down those values. We do have a sequence. So we'll write the sequence. So what is x2 of 0? 1, 2, 3, 9 remaining. We wrote here 0, 0. So we'll write 1, 2, 3, 0 and 0. Where we have stopped? We have stopped at 0. So we'll write first 0. Clear? So we wrote 1, 2, 3, 0, 0. What is the next value? x2 of 4. What is x2 of 4? 0. Next is x2 of 0. What is x2 of 0? 1, 2, 3. This 0 will be here. Where we have stopped? At this 0. We need to start from that 0. 0 as it is. Follow the sequence. 0, 1, 2, 3. Where we have stopped? At 3. Start from 3 and follow the same sequence. 0, 0, 1, 2. Then where we have stopped? At 2 we have stopped. So 2 as it is. Follow the same sequence. That is 3, 0, 0, 1. Clear? So we have started at 1. We reached to that particular 1. Now second sequence. What is the second sequence we do have? 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. So we'll take 1, minus 1, minus 2, 3 and minus 1. We wrote. Now what is this thing? We need to multiply. Means here we have to see the rows. Here we have to see the column. So what is, we'll multiply this. So what we'll get? If you multiply 1 into 1. 1 ones are 1 plus 0 into this 0 minus 1 is 0. 0 into minus 2 it will be 0. 3 into 3. 3 3s are 9. 2 ones are minus 2. Similarly, second row. This is our second row. 2 ones are. It is what? 2. Then 1 ones are. It's minus 1. Then 0 into anything will be 0. 0 into anything will be 0. Then 3 ones are. It's what? Minus 3. So we wrote that number also. Now go for third row. This third row elements and this is the column elements. So what is third row? 3 ones are. It's what? 3. 2 ones are. It's what? minus 2. Then 1 2 it's what? Minus 2. So 0 plus 0. Now next row. We'll take the next row. So 0 on one side is what? 0. So 3 one side is what? Minus 3. Then 2 2s are, it is what? Minus 4. Right? So 0 ones are done, minus 3 is done, 2 2s are minus 4, 1 3 side is what? 3. Then 0. Likewise last 0 into 1 it will be 0, this is also 0. So 0 minus 0 plus 3 2s are, it is what? Minus 6. Next 2 3s are, it is what? 6. Then 1 minus 1s are, it's minus 1. So what are the elements we are getting? So 9 plus 1 it is 10, 10 minus 2 it is what? 8. So we wrote 8. Next 2 minus 1 it is what? 1. 1 minus 3 it is what? Minus 2. Likewise 3 minus 2 1. 1 minus 2 is what? Minus 1. Next minus 3 plus 3 cancel, it is what? Minus 4. Then minus 6 plus 6 cancel, it is what? Minus 1. So we got 8 minus 2 minus 1 minus 4 and minus 1. So as you can see this sequence y of n, you have to write in terms of sequence. So what is the sequence? 8 minus 2 minus 1 minus 4 and minus 1. So this sequence and this sequence. So you can see 8 minus 2 minus 1 minus 4 and minus 1. So that means by doing any method, that is concentric circle method, or by doing your this one matrix method, your answer is same. In exam if specifically mentioned do circular convolution by concentric circle method, you have to go with circle method only. If at all they did not mention, means you can go for any one of the method. So I'll give one problem, try that problem. If any query you had, you mail me that query. I'll give the mail ID in the description box. And practice these problems. It definitely will ask for 5 marks in long questions. So now let's see the problem. So students, see, we do have first sequence x1 of n 1 2 2 1, and the second sequence x2 of n we do have 1 2 3 1. So they gave two sequence. What is asked in the question? To find the circular convolution. So we need to find out the circular convolution by using both the methods. So by using first method is concentric circle method, and the second method we need to apply is matrix method. So by using the concentric method and matrix method, and even you have to verify both the methods. From using both the methods you have to verify the answer whether you're getting the same or not. So here we do have 1 2 2 1, here 1 2 3 1. So in this no need of adding 0 because already they both are in a same samples. Here also number of samples is 4, here also number of samples is 4. So here they give to find circular convolution. For first is concentric. That means you have to draw the circles with common center. Outer circle x1 of n you take, inner circle x2 of n. So by using x1 of n and x2 of n, inner circle rotate clockwise, outer circle rotate anti-clockwise, and corresponding value you need to find out. So for finding what is the first answer, you will get y of 0, y of 1, y of 2, y of 3, because here we had only 4 samples. So we'll get till 0 to 3. So find by using concentric method. In the second matrix method, what we'll do? Same y of n you need to find. To get the y of n, what we'll do it? We'll take first x2 of n, n is to n matrix, then we'll take x1 of n is to 1 matrix, n by 1 we'll take it and we'll find out matrix method and try to get the answer. Both the answer needs to be same. If both the answer is same, that means these two answers needs to be verified. If you verify, that means the convolution of the circular method has been obtained. So thank you for today's class. We will learn these methods in the next coming classes. Thank you.